Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? It is your boy Dylan coming at you today with another YouTube video. We are going to be talking about the 25 things only noobs will do in Call of Duty Warzone. Starting off at number one, and this one, it's kind of hard to believe, but people will do it, is ignoring your custom loadouts. I don't know if you guys have ever played with a random group of squads. Surely you have. Sometimes the boys are not online, but you'll get in with these random teammates. You'll get your loadout, and they won't get their shit. They will not get their guns. They will not get their perks. They'll be happy with the loot they found from the supply boxes, man. They'll get a P90 or they'll get a random M4 and they're good. They'll be like, nah, I'm happy with my loot. And you're standing there looking at them like, bro, you're gonna get us killed. You don't have your ghost. You don't have your goddamn, what's the other one? The cold blooded, and they're exposed on the mini map, and then you're forced to kind of like drift away from them because you don't want to get yourself killed being next to them without them having their perks. And it's just super frustrating that people will not get their loadouts sometimes. So hopefully everybody by now, surely you guys have your squad that you play with, but try to avoid playing with randoms because, man, you'll be shocked the amount of times they will not get their loadouts. It's actually ridiculous. Um, but all right, so going into number two is flying solo. All right, so I think we're all kind of guilty to this one, and we all probably have a friend or two that does it consistently every night. But it happens. But noobs will do it more so than other players, and they'll go in thinking they're gods at the game, thinking they're Nick Mercs or something like that, and they'll push teams on their own, which gets themselves killed, and then you're forced to spend $4,500 to bring them back in the game, and it's just, oh man, you see it happen a lot, and you can't go into gunfights without your teammates. You want to make plays, but you want to make smart plays. Do not push teams on your own. 90% of the time, you're probably going to get yourself killed because the numbers are stacked up against you. So do not do that. For the love of God. Connor, I am talking to you, buddy, if you're watching this video. So number three now is shooting too soon. So this, again, we all do it. It's so tempting. You're getting close to a team you see from the distance, and then you make the mistake of shooting your gun a little too early, and then it gets the whole squad killed because they had time to react and they got themselves positioned, whether it be on a rooftop or in houses, and you shoot too soon, and that's it, man. Then you guys are exposed, especially if you're in the middle of airport or in the middle of God knows where, a field or something like that. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. Just stop shooting too soon, too early. Unless you have a sniper rifle, you're probably not going to end up getting the kill. Number four, leaving teammates in gunfights. Okay, so this kind of goes back to the flying solo thing we just talked about. So, these noobs, they'll go in and they'll push these squads, and then they realize they're not good enough to kill them, and they'll retreat, but before they retreat, they got the team's already there to help them out, and they end up running away from the squad, and then the teammates that went there to help them out die, and of course the guy who initiated the gunfight survives, and that's something that can be really frustrating as you go in there and you help this noob, and he ends up running away from you in the middle of the gunfight. All right, heading on to number five, we have looting too much. Yeah, so noobs will go on, they'll drop at their landing spots, and they'll spend like the first 10 minutes of the game looting all these supply boxes, doing too many scavenger contracts, and they're just not spending enough time looking for people to kill. And they're not going to get better at the game if they're wasting all their time just looting for better guns. It's like, guys, you should have your loadouts. You should have, especially if you're playing squads, you should have your custom loadouts within like the first 5 minutes of the game. So there's really no reason to be looting beyond that point. So number six, wasting kill streaks. So these guys, they'll go into the buy stations, and instead of buying a UAV or like something useful for the team, armor plates or whatever, they'll buy these random kill streaks. Or they'll buy like a shield turret, precision airstrike. And it's like, you think to yourself, like, what are you doing? Why are you buying these random streaks, man? They're just not going to be helpful for the team. But then again, they're a noob and they don't know better. We'll just say that. Um, so all right, number 8, ignoring contracts. You gotta go. You gotta get the elimination contracts. All right, that's how you're gonna get better at Warzone. Just constantly getting those contracts, and a lot of times noobs will avoid them. They just don't want to pick them up. They don't want to engage in gunfights. They just want to do the scavengers or the recons, and at times those are useful if you need money, but ideally you want the elimination or the most wanted contracts that are just recently put into the game. In doing so, you'll progress as a player and as a team, and you'll have a lot more victories that are kind of more, I don't know, impressive, more feel-good victories because you know that you wrapped up a bunch of kills and you didn't hide the entire time. Number 9, making unnecessary noises. And look, we all know there's no dead silence in the game. You could pick it up at certain times if you find it in supply boxes or whatever. But unfortunately, there's not a dead silence perk. For whatever reason, it's been something I've been complaining about since day one. But noobs will make the most noises. They'll head into these houses where they know there's a team, and they'll run up the stairs, making as much noise as they possibly can. Sometimes you gotta go Sam Fisher. All right, you gotta be a little stealthy. These noobs don't understand. You can't just run up the stairs like you own the place. Got to be a little quiet when you approach teams. Make it to where they don't see it coming. All right. So that's something that noobs struggle with quite a bit, and it sucks. But they need to learn how to be a little bit more silent and more deadly when they go into these situations where they're inside of houses trying to take people out. Okay, number 10, jumping into hot zones. Some people like jumping right into the action right away. That's one of my things I like to do. And it's a decent strategy. However, one needs to give themselves at least a few moments to find a weapon, some ammo before heading into a firefight. If someone dropped onto a roof, consider landing at the base of the building to loot the interior bottom floors before engaging in gunfights with them, because they hit the roof first. They got the high ground, and they no doubt picked up a gun already and saw you land, which can lead to a severe disadvantage. So one thing to consider whenever you're landing at, let's say, Superstore, Storage Town, Boneyard, those hot spots, just kind of make sure that you land away from people because you got to have a gun to fight with right away. All right, number 11. We're going to have to kind of pick up the pace a little bit, guys. I don't want it to be like a 20-minute video. Number 11, hiding in houses. All right, it's something that probably more than 50% of Warzone players will do. Stop hiding in houses, guys. You're not going to become a better player doing that. Stay on the run. Keep hunting people down. It's the only way you're going to get better at the game. Stay away from houses for the love of God. Stop camping, all right? You're not doing anybody good. All right, where we at? Number 12? Yeah, number 12. Not checking your corners. Now, this kind of correlates with hiding in houses. You gotta you gotta watch out for those people, man. A lot of people stay in the houses. Check your corners when you open doors, when you go into rooms, when you go up the stairs, when you go into open roofed buildings. Just check those corners because people will play this game like it's real life. It's actually unbelievable, man. People act like they're actually in war, and they'll sit there and they'll hide. So just be sure to always check those corners. Number 13, not moving enough. And again, this also kind of the last couple things we've talked about. Stay on the run. Keep hunting people down. You're not going to improve, man, if you're not getting into as many, smart gunfights as possible. Number 14, driving vehicles inside of towns. We all have that teammate that loves to be the driver. They want to be in charge of taking the team to their desired destination, and a lot of times they'll go through these big city towns. For example, like downtown, the place I hate the most. There's a lot of rooftops on that, in that area, and people have C4. They have rocket launchers. I would not advise going through these cities in vehicles because unless you have a trophy system set up on your little Jeep, it's not going to end well. It is not going to end well. Number 15, not buying gas mask. Now, earlier in the video, we talked about noobs, wasting kill streaks. This is not one of those things. We need gas masks, especially if you're making it to end game on a consistent basis. You gotta have those gas masks because it allows you to make plays outside of the circle. It allows you to flank around people and give them the little element of surprise because you got the gas mask, So those are one thing that you do not want to forget to buy. Number 16, ignoring certain buildings. All right. Sometimes noobs they'll see that there's people on these buildings where they don't like fighting at, and they will run away from their teammates or just advise their teammates to take another route. And you don't want to do that. You gotta get some experience fighting in situations where you don't feel comfortable in, because that's one way you can allow yourself to become a better player. So don't be afraid to engage in gunfights outside of your comfort zone. All right. Number 17, not focusing on positioning. All right, so this is another thing that people struggle with. They don't concentrate on positioning, and that gets them into situations where they have to run away, or there's no way they're going to escape because they're in the middle of nowhere and there's no buildings to go in, and they don't think before they shoot, and they get themselves into horrible spots where they're going to get themselves killed. So one thing to take into account, focus on your positioning, see where the circle is, see where the next circle is, because that's going to be a great way to utilize that's a great way to utilize the map and to get the most out of your game. All right, so 18, 19, and 20. Buying the wrong items, which I guess we've already previously talked about, not using a suppressor, and not using a heartbeat sensor. Guys, suppressor and heartbeat sensor are a must in Call of Duty Warzone. You want to stay off that map. You want to stay hidden. You want to stay stealthy. You want to know where the enemies are if they're close to you. It's such a big map. That heartbeat sensor is crucial to your success in Warzone. I don't know what other. I think that's under your lethal. I mean, your only other options are smoke grenade, stun grenade, and flash. Man, they're not, that great of other tools. So heartbeat appears to be the obvious option, but believe it or not, these noobs will go a different route. Number 21, fighting teams when they have high ground. So sometimes you get in situations where people are like on these very tall buildings, and you're shooting at them from down below, and it's just not a good look because, high ground is very important in Warzone, and you're going to lose a majority of those gunfights. So try to avoid fighting teams when they got that type of positioning on you. Number 22, using claymores over C4. And I'm going to put it this way, guys. If you use claymores, you're a camper. I mean, straight up, you're a camper if you use claymores, bro. Because that means you're going into houses, you're placing them down, and you're just holding down those spots. And C4, they give you the ability to throw it outside of windows, to throw them in houses, to throw them at vehicles coming your way. And they're just far more superior. I'll leave it at that. Alright guys, time to wrap up the video. So 23, 24, and 25, we'll briefly go over them. So, not acquiring Ghost and Cold-Blooded, not having a plan when getting shot at, and shooting people that are down instead of shooting people that are shooting at your teammates. And we'll focus more on number 25. So, guys, don't shoot people that are down when there are other players shooting at you, because, you're going to end up dead. All right, don't worry about finishing off the kill unless you know 100% that you're going to be safe doing it. All right, focus on the teammates shooting at you and your teammates, because as a result, you'll end up taking out more squads. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. It was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I hope these kind of tips and tricks help out you noobs who play Call of Duty Warzone. Maybe they'll help out a little bit. And until next time, this was your boy Dylan. See you all soon. Peace out.